Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
Oh, whew. Oh, sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, I was dreaming.
You were dreaming?
Yeah, I was dreaming. It was actually a very nice dream. I was dreaming of our comeback.
You're becoming mad!
What?
You're becoming the Madmeister.
My sanity!
Baleta? Baleta? Baleta?
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Dennis, the Bodymeister.
Wow, I like the energy. Yeah, our YouTube journey, unfortunately, is coming to an end. There
What?
will only be... This is a surprise to you?
No.
Okay, so there will only be like 1 or 2 final videos, this one being one of them. Over the years, we have reviewed more than 500 Indian movies, and of that, more than 500 Indian movies, about 130 or so are from Malayalam cinema. And almost since we began watching and reviewing Malayalam movies, this one has been on our watch list. Unfortunately, though, it was never really available with decent quality, with English subtitles. And still, it's not really, but not only did our awesome Masala My City supporter Binoy choose this movie for us, but he also subtitled it himself, which is pretty incredible. Thank you so much, Binoy. Now we were finally able to watch it.
And Jimmy pays you back by stopping you doing YouTube.
That's not true. We're still doing this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Thanks.
movie I'm talking about is, of course, the 1987 drama Tanya Vatanam, which translates to The Repeating Rhythm. It was the very first one written by the late, great A.K. Lohitadas, who we have...
Lohitadas. You said Lohitadas.
Lohitadas.
I think Lohitadas.
Okay, I
Or
think you're right.
Lohitadas.
Yeah, when it comes to names, you are usually right. Lohitadas, who we have grown to know and cherished from several other films as a writer and also as a director. The movie was directed by C.B. Malayil. That name is correct? Nice. Who we know from the 2 Mohanlal movies, Satyam and Kiridam. The latter also being written by A.K. Lohitadas. This one doesn't star Mohanlal, but instead the great Mammootty, as well as Tilakan, Mukesh, Kaviyor Punama, and several more in supporting roles. Buddy, what is the movie all about?
Balan, a teacher, has a mentally unstable uncle. And there is a belief in the village that his family is cursed to have a mentally unstable man in every generation. When the uncle dies, people believe that Balan is the next person to be affected by this curse. And Balan is played by Mammootty.
Yes, of course. Like I said, we have watched more than 100 Malayalam movies. And so many times we loved that specific Malayalam chill vibe. How chill and relaxed and warm and cozy and beautiful the typical rural Kerala countryside and village life is portrayed. But that's not really what this movie is all about. This is about the dark side of it. It's about superstitions, about the backward thinking of man.
Yeah.
And I really like this movie a lot.
Yes. I also liked it. It's a good movie, but it's also a movie that like made me feel miserable.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard. I know that's not a real like critique or way of reviewing things, but I think in the state of my life where I'm in right now, I just can't watch movies like this.
What?
I don't want to feel miserable.
You just want happy-go-lucky feel-good
No.
movies.
It's a really good movie, but yeah, it's one of those movies where you're just like hitting yourself on the head and think, what is happening here? Why is this happening? Please don't do this to this character. Don't do that. It's like all the time you're like on the edge because you just want people to be happy and want them like to understand, and it's like, but that's also something that like tells us that this is a good movie because it works.
Yeah.
The thing that they want to do with you works.
Yeah. And I have to say, a movie that's all about superstitions and that's making a case for reason and for enlightenment, that speaks very much to me. And from the get-go, I was like, yeah, this is a movie with a message. And this is a movie that maybe wants to make the world a little bit better. Maybe it will reach some people out there. Maybe they can rethink their own way of thinking. And I really like that a lot. The first 45 minutes are the introduction. It's when the protagonist's uncle is the mad one, who is probably not mad and definitely not cursed. Maybe he's mentally challenged. Maybe he's depressed.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about the fact that his wife died by a snake bite or something, and that he held her in his arms while when she died. And this is probably a big factor in this thing, that he is traumatized and doesn't know how to deal with this, how to cope with it.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to cope with him. So maybe it's only this. Maybe he also has other mental problems. I don't know. But this is probably because they talk about it's a big part of it.
Yeah. So in the first 45 minutes, all the characters are introduced. This family dynamic becomes clear.
Yeah.
Mammootty is the older brother. He's a kind school teacher.
Yes.
Who accepts the family's belief in the curse. So he doesn't question it too much. But he also has a younger brother, played by Mukesh. What's his name? Gopi, I think. And he's the one who is kind of fed up with this whole curse thing.
We need to wake up.
People need to wake up. It's not that he doesn't believe in it at all, but he's more progressive for sure. Yeah,
and he's also the one who says it, who speaks out and confronts things, because Balan, Mammootty's character, is more the kind of, well, if it's no harm to anyone, just let them believe what they want to believe and don't make a fuss about it.
Yeah, let's just continue. And exactly. So the first half comes to an end with the death of the mad uncle.
Sridharan.
If you say so.
Man, you only know him as Mad Uncle.
Yeah, I only know him as Mad Uncle. But he has only a few scenes, but very powerful scenes. Especially when Mammootty's character takes him out, frees him.
Yeah.
And that also leads to his death.
Yeah.
Is it a suicide?
I mean, they don't really say it. I think it might be. We don't know it. The movie doesn't spell it out. But he's his body is in this little creek.
Yeah.
But we don't know it. But probably, I don't know. Yeah.
So and then Balan has a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he wakes up. And
everything changes.
Yes, everything changes. The rest of the movie is basically confirmation bias, the movie, because his mother and his uncle, played by Tilakan, the elders of the family, they obviously know immediately what's going on. It's the curse. And the next male in the family has gone mad. And there's no question about it. And that's completely clear for them. And everything that's happening in the rest of the movie is viewed through that specific lens.
Yeah.
And everything that Balan is doing, everything he says, all his actions, everything is interpreted in a way that makes...
It's working against him.
It's working against
you can't do anything right.
Yeah.
If you're mad about or angry, he doesn't have
totally out of
control.
Character, and he was never like that in the past.
And if he's not angry and not talking, he's a thinker. He's thinking too much.
Yeah.
He can't speak anymore. And it's people only see what they want to see and what they want to interpret into it.
Yeah. And this is of course also a self fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who are responsible for him becoming mad, because now he's an outsider, he's an outcast. The family is ashamed. There's this great scene when he's coming home and they want to marry his younger sister.
Yes.
They say that he's someone else. He's a neighbor.
He's a neighbor, yeah.
He's a neighbor.
Yeah.
And like you said, especially the second half of this movie is really hard to watch.
Mm.
And I think for two reasons. Reason number one, obviously, because of the subject matter,
Yeah.
because you want to shout at these people, you want to shake them,
Mm.
but also because once Mammootty's character is the one who is supposedly mad, you kind of know exactly how this movie will progress.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And it's also an older movie. But you know, okay, this is what the movie is all about.
Mm.
So we will, step by step, it will escalate. It will get worse and worse. And probably the movie will end very tragically. And then you have to watch like 1 hour of this.
Yeah.
It's great. It's more about the how than the what's happening.
Yeah.
But it can be a little bit draining and a little bit dragging, but still a very good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it also works because I thought Mammootty is like these two different sides of him that he plays.
Mhm.
He plays so well because in the first like 45 minutes where everything's still all right for him,
Yeah.
he's like this warm teacher that
And
like,
father also.
Yeah, and father, of course. He teaches class about colors. And I don't know, it's so nice to see him and his daughter walk to school and
Yeah.
talk about all kinds of stuff and having fun. And he's like so warm, nice family father, like you said. And it's like, so this change makes it even more depressing that he's like, and that's, yeah, it's Mammootty's performance that works so well here. It's also like a big part of the thing. Oh no.
Yeah.
Man, leave this man alone.
Definitely.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. The supporting cast is also pretty great though.
Yeah.
Especially like Tila Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about the performances and also the characters is that they have these superstitions, and because of that, they are very harmful and basically destroy Balan's life. But Tila Khan's character is also like in tears and saying something like, I don't want to be harmful or anything like that, but I can't change myself. And
it's almost like in some scenes he realizes that it's that's not the way to think, to do, like to progress, to deal with this matter. But he just can't. And that's also something that like displays this whole like society where people are like almost forced to think like that, because if you break out of this thing, people will look at you and think, hey, what is wrong with this guy? So you also have to think, because you don't want to like be the one in the middle, be the one in focus. Yeah, and his character is almost like, damn it, if I just could break out of this thing. Yeah.
And only the younger brother is really able to. He leaves the family.
Yeah.
And this is also a movie about this joint family, everyone living together. But he is able to break free and to cut ties to the family. And he will be better for it, I think.
Yeah.
But it's, of course, also then a movie about these traditions and traditional family constellations and how in the modern
like the good and bad side of these
the
things,
good and bad,
because you're like, of course it can be nice to have these multi-generational houses where families live together, but if there are like some the mindset, if the mindset is like keeps on like permeating the whole all the generations, it's so hard to break out if you like if you think differently. And that also shows in that moment where Gopi, the brother, where this scene where they act like Balan is the neighbor. He's also with the family, and he also like can't do anything because he wants his sister to get married, and he also says, that's the neighbor. I mean, he's in tears, but he's also like bound by these rules, and you have to get out of this thing. He always says it. You have to get out. It's better, but even he can't in that moment, and it's really hard to watch. Yeah,
definitely. I've read that the director Ram was inspired by this movie to cast Mammootty in Peranbu.
Okay,
you haven't seen Peranbu, but you have seen other of Ram's films, and he's a very socially conscious director, and I really loved Peranbu, and there's definitely like a connection between the two movies. So the ending, it's an old movie. Like I said, the second half kind of progresses the way I was expecting. Still, it really got me in the last 10 minutes because it's a very uncompromising ending, and I thought it was very powerful, and it totally shows how bad the consequences are, and that there's no way out for these characters and for this mindset, and you just drive over the cliff, and you have no choice.
Yeah, and I also thought like this movie is kind of telling me also like you should always be able to like talk about your problems with someone, because the fact that you maybe are traumatized or have like experienced something that is like traumatizing, I don't know, like your wife's death or anything, you always should be able. You never shouldn't have the possibility to talk with someone. If you have this feeling of, oh, I'm in my village, but everybody thinks what's wrong with him if he says something, if he has a problem. No, that's like the beginning of things. There should always be somebody, because I think this whole problem with Sridharan, the mad uncle, wouldn't have happened if he just had somebody to talk about his problems. So that's just Yeah. And I also thought that this movie has like some very striking scenes in there, striking shots. Of course, the nightmare scene, Balan's nightmare scene, but also like the way this chamber is portrayed, where Sridharan at the beginning is in this chamber, and we have these camera shots through the door, or where he's just like doing this with his legs so that they can put the chain on it, and there's some stuff in there that's like very like I don't know, very depressing, very like almost as if I'm in this chamber, but I'm not, because I'm
in this chamber here.
Yeah,
in the YouTube recording session.
In Jimmy's cage.
Nice. So, anything else?
No.
I think there are 2 songs.
Yes. There are two songs, and there is like this flashback song. I think it's like connected with this moment where Balan lets his uncle free, or he's like playing the drums and remembers his time with his wife.
Really sweet moment.
And that's a really nice and beautiful song, of course, because we see, and it's shortly before Sridharan is found dead.
Yeah.
So that's like heartbreaking, but the song is really nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, what would you say in German about Dhanyavartanam?
Dhanyavartanam ist ein sehr guter, aber auch schwer verdaulicher Film, der vor allem von seiner beklemmenden Atmosphäre und dem intensiven Spiel der Schauspieler lebt.
Nice. Dhanyavartanam gilt nicht umsonst als einer der Vertreter der goldenen Ära des Malayalam-Kinos. Eine damals wie auch heute noch starke Kritik am Aberglauben der Menschen. Toll gespielt und konsequent bis zum Ende gedacht.
Beautiful.
I give Dhanyavartanam 8 out of 10. It's more like 8.1, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.4, but I don't do that either. Jimmy.
Yes.
Did you know that the drum Uncle Sridharan is playing is called Idaka, or Edaka? It belongs to the category of the hourglass-shaped drums. It is gently beaten with a thin, curve-ended stick, which we see in this movie, and its pitch can be bent by squeezing the lacing in the middle. You know? Yeah.
I didn't know that. Nice.
Now you know.
Now I know. All right, then I think that's it for Dhanyavartanam. Please
That's it.
comment below. Let us know what you think about this movie. And so I guess see you next time.
See you next time for our last... Oh, maybe. I don't know when this will... But we are recording the last video right after this one.